Hello, Psychology 2301 students. It is Dr. Tissely Medley. Once again, we are now up to our chapter on motivation. So, this chapter is going to introduce you to theories of motivation and what are considered primary human motivators. The overall influence of motivation on behavior is also going to be explored in this chapter. So, motivation is the force that drives us to do things, to start an action, maintain an action, or to stop a particular action. The term motivation is used to describe mechanisms involved in the process, as well as the intensity and persistence of any process related responses. Generally, we think of motivation as this very wide ranging concept and that it applies to several specific behaviors, things like eating, sleeping, engaging in sexual behaviors, and achieving goals related based on intrinsic or extrinsic rewards. So, some of the concepts that you'll see in the chapter include obesity and eating disorders, so those things that motivate us to stop eating or to continue eating, the human sexual response cycle, and Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which talks about and defines self-actualization. So, how do you know when you're hungry? Right? It seems like such a natural process for many of us. Maybe you've never thought about where that comes from. The drive to eat is motivation. There is a motivation behind that eating behavior. Motivation also, though, refers to feeling satiated or feeling full. So, those things that might stop us from eating, right? Or the signals that might tell us we need to stop eating. So, at any particular point in the day, right now, for example, you're being motivated to engage in some action, like listening to this and watching this video. Even if you're motivated by the need to sleep or relax, that's still motivation. This chapter discusses a little bit of eating disorders as it relates to that motivational piece, um, but don't really expect it to go into the depth of psychological disorders, as that's going to be a separate chapter towards the end of the semester. This chapter will also discuss a little bit about why people do things like studying for an exam. Is there usually a goal in mind that makes a person want to engage in that sort of behavior? Or do some people just study because it's the right thing to do, right? Some sort of value that they have? Or is it just about learning new things? For example, someone like me who's just very curious and nerdy, maybe just wanting to learn new information and the novelty that comes with that. It may also address some pieces of how motivation could theoretically impact the likelihood of a person becoming depressed, for example. So hopefully you'll get to see motivation in this very broad sense, and you will understand how it can impact a variety of behaviors that we engage in or choose not to engage in based on a lack of motivation. All right, so if you have any questions about this chapter, feel free to reach out by email or on the discussion board. I look forward to hearing your thoughts.